I'm not waiting on somebody, and whoever God has for me is gonna be like, yo, my girl's, she doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I already got the man cave ready for him and everything. Like it's lit down there.
You gotta be careful saying all this. Your DM's about to be crazy.
Is this my camera? Blow me up.
I would personally, I would feel a way. You lip locking with somebody on camera.
Oh, let's talk about that.
I would struggle. I'd be like, hey, bro, I don't know how I feel. I need to meet dude, bro. Them my lips, bro. Them my lips, bro.
The holy rollers can like be a turn off. I had one guy like ask me every single day, did you pray? Did you read your Bible? I'm like, yo, you gotta chill.
He trying to lead you, ain't he?
You gotta calm down.
You not my dad.
You're not my dad!
So what's the deal breakers?
Yeah, so.
This is The Deep End with Lecrae.
Y'all, I'm excited. I'm excited today because, you know, we have all kinds of people on here, but like this time we got like a multi-tiered threat, like just does so many things. Can style you if you need, can give you some therapy if you need, sitting on the couch, can act so well that you believe the character. You get mad at her when she's on the screen as somebody else. And just an all-around dope person, you know, who loves the Lord as well. So, man, I'm excited. I know y'all gonna be excited. Y'all gonna be blessed by this conversation. I got who I didn't know was a former neighbor of mine.
Yes.
Crystal Renee in the building, man.
Oh my gosh, Lecrae, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. This is dope, man.
Yes. Like what you built here is amazing. I love your podcast. So I'm happy to be across the table.
I'm just new to this podcast thing. I'm just taking notes. I'm just watching what you got going on, trying to figure it out.
No, that's what you do.
Saying?
Like season by season, you'll figure it out.
You do a really good job too, because we were just talking about this. You're very vulnerable, and I think your vulnerability allows other people to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, backstory, we was talking a little bit, but I know there's people who know you.
Yeah.
But then there's some people who are like, I seen her on TV or I seen the podcast, but I don't know her story or anything about her specifically. So you were just saying, you originally Tennessee, came from Tennessee. Okay. And you went to UT Martin.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was saying that I went to school in Tennessee too.
Yeah.
I really low key, I should have said I went to TSU because that's where I spend most of my time.
Both my mom and dad went to TSU.
Really?
I was conceived at TSU.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
They were married.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, listen, that's your business. That's their business, not mine. I don't know how that happened. You know what I'm saying?
I am trying to
put their business in the streets. But yeah, no. So I used to kick it at TSU and Fisk. My God, shout out to all my Fisk and TSU people. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
I love that school. I was basically raised on that campus.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was raised on that campus, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, let me tell you. Let me tell you. I was raised from the dead after leaving that campus, okay? Just put it to you like that. That's it. And some things happen.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? Some things happen. We just gonna keep that buried and underwater,
Amen.
Okay? Underwater. But then you moved to Atlanta.
I moved to Washington, D.C.
You moved to D.C., that's right.
Yeah, worked on Capitol Hill.
Like, why? What?
I know. So what had happened was my poli-sci teacher, who actually was a member of my church growing up in Martin.
Okay.
He asked me, he's like, have you ever thought about going into politics? And I was like, no, that's not really my thing. I was a comm major. I wanted to be a publicist to athletes, and I wanted to be an event planner because I love putting parties together.
Okay.
And that was just my dream. And he was like, I think you should try this, at least see if you like it. Let's sign up, let's do an essay for this internship. So out of the whole state of Tennessee, they chose 3 college students. And I was one of the 3 that got to go to DC for a semester and then end up getting a job. So.
And were you like, was that exciting or was that like, did you want to be out there?
I didn't know. I'm always excited to try new things.
Okay.
So for me, it was, let's try it, see how I like it.
Yeah.
And when I got there, DC is where I found myself because you've been to Martin. There's nothing there.
I was about to say, it's like low key country compared to the rest of the world.
Very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had you traveled before that?
Not much, no.
Okay, so you were still green.
I was very green. Like I would walk past and say good morning to people and they're looking at me like I got tentacles growing out of my head. They're
Yeah.
like, why are you speaking? And I'm like, okay, so people don't talk here. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
You mind your business, get where you're going and do your job and make friends where you can.
Right.
So it was in that moment where I found my sense of style in DC. I really found who I was because it's my first time being away from home.
Hold on. Let me interrupt you real quick. Okay, y'all, because listen, as you watching this, there are interruptions like this one telling you to download the BSIDE app because there's no interruptions when you watch the BSIDE app. It's straight through. Make sure you download that and watch it with 0 ads, 0 interruptions, and some exclusive content. All right.
So I attribute like a lot of who I am today, even like my fashion, the way I think, the way I carry myself. Is different people have sewn into me for those different things, but DC is a lot of that, from that Martin, Tennessee girl to who I am now.
That's what I think I've noticed watching, especially watching your podcast, is you are a very multi-layered person.
Yeah.
Like you like, all of us are diamonds. There's many facets of us, but in a weird way, you've made me feel more comfortable because there's so many aspects of me that I'm like, man, can I show this side? Can I show this side? And you just show them all. You just like,
you know what? I think as Christians,
Yeah.
we, and especially Christians who are in the light, we're under a microscope.
Yep.
We sometimes are afraid to show our humanness and who we really are, that our homies and they know who we really are, but like to the masses. And I said, you know what? I just got to be who I am and show people like, this is where I am, my walk. I am not perfect by any means.
Yeah.
I like to have a good time. There's things I'm still working on, but understanding that I can show you all of me.
Yeah.
I can do all these different things. And there's moments where I've actually struggled, like even with acting, is it okay if I do these type of scenes, or my character cusses a lot, you know? And there's times where I'm like, ooh, like that was a lot. Like I invited somebody from church this past season to come to set and they brought their daughter. And I was like, dang, I did not realize the scene was like beep, 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 beep. Like it was so many cuss words. I was like, we really be cussing. And I didn't realize.
that wasn't me. That was Fatima.
That
wasn't me.
Fatima. It might have
Yeah.
been Crystal too.
Yeah,
But
listen,
yeah,
listen. That's a whole nother episode about cussing Christians because listen, y'all ain't ready for that one.
They're
Y'all
not,
ain't ready.
They're not ready. But I did an episode with Miss Lawrence, and she was like, what? She's like, where in the Bible does it say that you can't cuss? It talks about cursing people. It's a difference.
Oh, you talking.
Come on.
You
know what I'm
talking.
saying? So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so I can still say
You talking. They not ready for it.
they not ready for
But
it.
yeah, you talking.
But yeah, so.
No, that's good. It's funny because just to segue on that, I had to sit my kids down one night and I was like, yo, it's about the intent of the heart, not the words that's coming out your mouth. So if I call you a pine cone head, but I mean I wish you would die, it's the same as saying any other term. I said, now culturally, we look at some words and be like, hey, but they just words.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
It's the
real.
intent behind it. So, sometimes you can give somebody grace while you saying something that the world deems as a cuss word. Like, man, no, that was some blah. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I'm not cursing you.
No, I'm
trying
giving
to.
your-
But listen, don't get me started.
That's a whole, like you said, that's a whole other episode. We can
nother
have a whole hour on
episode.
that.
But it's funny because now there's oh my gosh, you're so multi-layered. Like there's the sophisticated aspect of you who is a wine connoisseur
Yes, I am.
and a traveler. And you know what I'm saying? Got a little of that going on. But then there's this down to earth side of you that's like, it's like, I'm just gonna kick it. We whatever. Watch the game. We chilling.
Yep, we just did it the other night.
Yeah, there's that side. Then there's literally like this side of you that's like very passionate about your faith and you want to make sure that bleeds out. And then the celebrity thing and I think, I don't know about you, but I think for me, I have wrestled with how to navigate all of who I am and just being the full scope of myself.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you on a regular basis?
Yeah, you know what? I think I've gotten to a place where I can be myself unapologetically.
Okay.
I lived in a space for a while where I had survivor's remorse, for being the one who has been well traveled, for being the one who can go to wineries in Italy and see the Mediterranean and sip on wine and spit it out and eat cheese. You know, there's different things I've been exposed to.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it too, being exposed.
Yeah.
But I think now I'm to a place where it's okay. This is my life. I'm accepting where I am and understanding that there's that country girl that will walk outside barefoot, you know what I'm saying, still to this day just to feel grounded.
Yeah.
There's a girl that can hop on a private jet and know how to behave and know how to carry myself around certain people. I can go have dinner with the president and then come and hang out with my cousins in Tennessee on the porch and just sit there and chill and still feel like myself and not feel like I've got to shift or anything, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what people appreciate. They appreciate that, like, I'm just who I am, you know?
I can see that.
Yeah.
But that confuses me a little bit because it would seem that you being all of that would have no problem on the dating scene. I wasn't gonna go there immediately.
Let's go there.
But I'm just talking, because I remember me and my friends used to always say, man, she gotta be able to kick it at the White House and go to a Tupac concert.
That's a real thing.
And I'm like, you just said that.
I can do that.
And that's what dudes want.
Let's talk about it.
So what's happening?
Yeah. I feel like where I am now, okay, one, I have to take accountability for understanding that as a successful woman, a woman who's had to build it on her own and be independent and almost to a fault hyper independent, where it's hard to relinquish control, where it's hard to be like, okay, you got it. But also attracting someone and having someone come in my life that makes me feel safe enough to be like, all right, you got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for me, I can say I haven't always had the easiest time of letting go because I'm so used to doing things a certain way. I'm so used to my life being a certain way.
Okay.
And trusting that my partner can, you know what I'm saying, can do that.
Okay.
And a lot of that comes from, and it's so many different levels that I look for in a man, like where he is in his walk with God, where he is financially, career-wise, passion. And for me, the men that I've attracted in the past, they weren't where they wanted to be in their passion. I feel like for a man, you have to be secure in where you are.
Yeah.
You have to be doing what you absolutely love, so that if you do have a woman that may be making more money, that's another thing. It's hard to find a man that makes more money than I do. So I'm dating someone who
Pause.
is.
It's hard to find a man that makes more money than I do.
Because like the guys who are, they're not coming at me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like the guys who do attract.
That's true.
You know
That's
what I'm saying? That's what I'm
facts.
saying. Yeah,
That's
not like
facts.
saying like.
I'm just balling on y'all. I mean, it's like they little dogs out here.
I'm joking.
I hear what you're saying.
But it
though.
is like, I guess where I am in like the sceneries that I'm in, like a lot of people, they're not making as much as I am. But you have to be a very secure man to step to a woman that is making what I make and living the way I live, to not feel inferior.
Yeah.
And I do my best to make sure that like my person doesn't feel that way. But it's really up to you how you really feel and how you carry that. So the past few years, I just started dating again last year. And I hadn't dated before that since 2018. I just focused on work. At that point, I was still styling Tyler and costume designing. So I feel like I was just pumping a lot of energy and time into my
Did you not
career.
want to date, or you just?
Honestly, it just wasn't coming. Like, I think because I was so busy, it was almost like a
you
sacrifice.
wasn't in the right places.
I wasn't,
Okay.
because I was so buried in work.
Yeah.
I wasn't even, if I wasn't working, I was sleeping, you know?
Got you.
It was one of those moments in my
Yeah.
life. And then I feel like now it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like God has literally opened up every door that I want, but my focus is on work. So finding someone that can come in and be like, babe, I'm proud of you. Do your thing.
Yeah.
All right. I know this month you gotta shoot. So I'll make sure that you at least got some food when you come home. Like those things. I was dating a dude and I literally was like working like 18-hour days. Like we were working some long days. And by the time I wrapped, the same dishes that were in my sink when I reported to work were still in the sink when I wrapped. And I was like, you couldn't have done that. All you doing is going to the gym every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? And chilling.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
So what's the deal breakers?
The
for
deal
you?
breakers for me, well, what they have been is not being honest.
Okay.
You know, coming to me, trying to lay it out like you have it all together
Yeah.
and selling me a dream, and then the reality, the layers start to peel back. I'm like, oh, you're nowhere near what you were trying to sell or portray.
Yeah.
I did a Latarius Whitfield's podcast, and I talked about one guy I dated. His Instagram, you would have thought, oh, we can go toe to toe. You know what I'm saying? Like, he on yachts, I'm on yachts. Like, he Louis down, I'm Louis down. The Louis was fake. I said, wait a minute, something's not adding up.
At least just say my Louis. Just don't put the Louis back on there.
No.
Just put the Toomey back on there. Just, it's fine. It's okay, bro. It's like,
but you're trying to be something you're not. And I think for me, it's like, just be who you are,
Yeah.
you know? And it was a lot of where I felt like hiding things. That was a
Right.
deal breaker for me. It was like the transparency wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like, just tell me what it is so I can choose
Right.
whether I want to, like, because I'm big on sewing into my partner. Like, if I see that there's something that you really want to do and I believe in it, I'm going to back it, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, being in a space where, like, all right, maybe the roles are reversed and I have to be the one to, because most of the time it's the guy being like, babe, what you want to do? All right, here you go.
Right.
It's, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's different for me. Like, I'm the one saying, no, what is it you really want to do? Let's, like, make sure that's what you want, and
Yeah.
so that you can feel fulfilled. Because I think that's so important.
That's tough. And I'm even as you're talking, I'm trying to process how I would have handled that or how I would navigate that.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes maturity because wealth is not wisdom.
No.
A lot of people will mix that up.
Yeah.
Like, just because you don't have the level of wealth somebody has does not mean you're devoid of wisdom
Right.
and insight and whatever. But I think a lot of us will make that mistake. But I'm just even thinking, like, how would I navigate that? Would I be intimidated?
Right, as a man, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, and I do think that my mindset would lack the confidence to try to. It's so funny how our identity is so wrapped up in financial wherewithal. Because I was never
Right.
I was always gonna work hard. I was always gonna be a
Yeah.
provider, but I think it's like, oh no, I'm not at her level, so maybe I should chill.
Right.
I never dealt with that, but because I got married so young.
Yeah.
But that's
It's-
so wait, how does that work? Because in your 20s, nobody's thinking about that.
Nobody cares. No.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
buy me a drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's it like in your
40s.
40s?
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole other ball game.
It's another ball game, because then you have, like, when you're at this point, we've got established debt and credit and different things that you want somebody that at least has a roof over their head. You know, we can't be in our 40s and I don't care, like, a roof can be an apartment, like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But we're like, I need to be able to not just be at my house, like, we need to go to your house. You know what I'm saying?
Why are we always in my house?
Why are we always here? Why is all your stuff accumulating here? You know, like, I need some pieces in your closet. You know?
Yeah.
I need a toothbrush at your spot. The little things like that, like, making sure that, like, we are equal in certain areas,
Right.
and you don't have to have a big home. You know, like,
Yeah.
I understand, like, and I'll say this, a really close friend of mine, her mother, when I was buying my house that I'm in now, she was like, "You really gonna buy that big house?" She was like, "You're never gonna find a man." She literally said that to me, and I was like, "Well, I'm 40 years old. I'm not gonna keep waiting."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna live my life and enjoy my family, and you know what I'm saying, and live how I want to live. I'm not gonna stay in this townhouse, and I love my townhouse, but
Right.
I'm not gonna stay here when I know it's time for me to grow.
Yeah.
And I'm not waiting on somebody, and whoever God has for me is gonna be like, "Yo, my girl's she doing it." You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I already got the man cave ready for him and everything. Like, it's lit down there.
Come on now.
And I walked in the house like, yeah, so we're gonna turn this. I'm already speaking it. Like, we are gonna do this. This is gonna be a recovery room. We got the steam shower.
You gotta be careful saying all this. Your DM's about to be crazy.
Is this my camera? Blow me up.
Your DM's about to be crazy. Like, I'm gonna unofficially make myself your big brother. Send them to me first.
Oh, you gonna vet them for me?
Yeah, I will vet
Thank
these dudes.
you.
Because I literally had to
Yeah.
do that for my sister, my real sisters. I had to
Yeah.
do some vetting. I was like, nah. And you know what I'm
See,
saying?
Tyler does that, but Tyler really be intimidating people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm like, bro, you cannot. Like, no.
Yeah.
They be like, wait,
First of all, you can't have Tyler Perry vetting people. I'm intimidated at the thought.
Yeah.
I need you to meet Tyler. Tyler who? Tyler Perry?
Right. Like, wait,
I
a
done failed
minute.
this test already. This is a waste of time. I am failing.
But if anybody wants me to find love, nobody wants me to find it more than Tyler.
I can see that.
Yeah, like, he really wants me to to find that and be happy, you
Yeah.
know, because it is, I mean, it's lonely. Like, and I was just talking about this to somebody when I just had a live podcast. One of the biggest moments like of today, you know what I'm saying? It was huge. And to go home, my whole family's in town, but to not have anybody to download with, to share that moment with, and be like, hey, can you believe this happened? We pulled this off.
Yeah.
And just to talk to like my sisters going upstairs, her husband, their child, my brother and his girlfriend are going upstairs, my nephew, my mom and dad are going upstairs. And then I'm just here at the end of the day, like, all right, I guess I'll just go to bed now. You know?
You're at home not having an argument with somebody because they didn't show up for you the way you wanted them to.
Come on, Lecrae.
Okay?
That's good.
I need you to, don't be trying to make single worse.
Yeah, right.
It's not worse. It's
not.
different.
It's different. But there are moments where you feel it
Yeah.
versus other times where you're like, I'm cool. Because a lot of times it's almost scary how much I love my solitude. You know, like you can get so used to being alone and I feel like I'm in that space.
Yeah.
There's only moments where I'm like, dang, I wish I had somebody to share this with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I had to be careful with that too, because I'm like, God, I just want somebody I can share this life with.
Yeah.
And God was like, here you go. And I'm like, but Lord, that's what you asked for. I'm like,
I can't imagine being like, cause spiritually, like, you know, and everybody doesn't subscribe to the scriptures in the biblical way of doing things, right? But from a biblical perspective, spiritually, we know, okay, God, you have brought me here to be a covering, to be someone who can care for this person. And if financially that gets worked into the equation and she's at a different place than I am, I could see God's brain starting to short wire.
Yeah.
And I think what I would tell any of her potential suitors out there, I would say, man, focus on helping her be a good steward over what y'all will potentially have instead of what, you know, instead of like, oh, she got this and I got this. It's like, well, help her steward. Imagine that's y'all's because y'all gonna be together. How would you help steward that for the benefit of y'all collectively?
that's
you know what I'm saying?
it right there. You just literally hit the nail on the head.
Man.
Yeah, that's
you know what I
good.
mean? But dudes, so anyway.
It's tough though. I mean, like you said, I can't even begin to understand like what it is like a man who's already like wired to be a provider, to be the one that's taking care of, and then has somebody. I had a guy tell me, he was like, I don't even know where I fit in your life. Like, where do you need me? And I'm like, I need you. I'm like, what? Where do I need you?
Yeah.
Like, I need your support. I need your affirmations. Like, I need your time.
Yeah.
I need you to like help me with certain things, you know, because there's certain things I like want to bounce ideas. Like, babe, what do you think about this?
Yep.
I can't do it all by myself, you know. Even if I have a team, there's still some things I may want to bounce off my man to see like what he thinks about it.
Yeah.
And there, when he said that, I was like, dang, like this is a real thing. Like you really don't know where you fit into my life because you're so used to a woman. I need money for my rent, or I need this and this. And like,
well, provider is not I think we have taken that concept as we have to be the provider, as like that's part of our identity. And I think we're called to be leaders.
Yes.
And a leader can lead in humility, can lead in kindness, can lead in stewardship, can lead in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And I think too, even as I'm listening to you, I can imagine you're a full-fledged boss.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't want to be hard. You want to be soft. So a man just needs to be able to let you be soft and not have to be in boss mode
all the time. Like,
you know
it's
what I mean?
exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, so that's it. And I've said that too. Like, I don't want to have to feel like I've got to be that all the time. Like, at one point I was dating this one guy and we were like it was just something as simple as us going through the airport and I didn't have to like lug the bags. And I was like, I was like, it was that Instagram where the girl, when she has a boyfriend, not a single thought in the world because my man got it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like something as simple as that. And even like a guy on the plane, he was like, you guys look so happy. And I was like, no, I really am.
That's dope.
But of course that didn't work out.
But
But it was great when it lasted.
Listen, I'm gonna take it on as a project. I like it.
Crystal, amazing.
I like it. I'm gonna take it on as a project. I know for me, like my wife was with me from the mud.
Yeah.
So there's a sense of like, oh, I can appreciate her because she was with me before anything,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
But I also see, and I ain't naming no names, but I also see that dudes get some money and some fame, and they like, hey, there's way more options out here.
Yeah, it is when you got money.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's for the wrong reasons.
And so as a guy, I can understand the struggle. Well, not the struggle, but the reality of being a celebrity and having, financial security.
Yeah.
What is that as a woman? What are the challenges of like having popularity and fame and celebrity, and like how does that?
It's a lot because you want to make sure that people are around. Even it's not even just in relationships, like all of your relationships, platonic and romantic. You want to make sure people are around you for the right reasons.
Okay.
And a lot of times sifting through that can be a challenge. Also, for me, it's understanding that. How do I say this?
You got to just say it. You got to just say it. The people want the real.
They do want the real.
Can we make sure whoever's in the kitchen is chilling? Nigga, wash dishes.
They're washing dishes. Let me get these dishes washed for Lecrae come back. Another challenge for me would be, trying to think. That the one is just knowing that people are around you for the right reasons.
I can see that being tough.
It's so tough
Off the top.
off the top, and then just who you connect with. Some people just want to. You find out, they want to act like are you with me because you want a career, or you want me to put, even friends, like they want you to put them on. Or like they'll get mad when you don't bring them around certain people, because certain situations I may like keep separate, because when I don't know how you're gonna handle yourself. You can't bring everybody to every situation.
They can't all breathe that air.
They can't breathe that air. They cannot. So having people that feel like that entitlement, like, well, you never bring me around.
Oh,
okay.
You know
what I'm saying? Like, and wondering, like, why are you really around me?
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing that comes along when you start making money.
Yeah.
Is like, who's around for the right reasons? And
so I would personally, I would feel a way. I would feel a way about
I would feel a way.
you lip locking with somebody on camera.
Oh, let's talk about that.
I would struggle. I'd be like, hey, bro, I
That's
don't know
tough.
how I feel. I need to meet dude.
Yes, yeah.
I need to know dude. Hey, dude.
Pull up.
I need you to know something, bro. Them my lips, bro. Them my lips, bro. You know what I'm saying? So how does that work?
We can talk about that. So that's something else I had to actually talk to my pastor about, just like sex scenes and kissing. And the very first time I had to kiss DeVal, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't do it. I'm like, this is a married man. Like, I couldn't even separate the character from the person knowing his wife. I'm like, I'm literally like a second grader jump. Like, I couldn't even do it. Or fifth grade, or I would definitely kiss nobody in the second grade, but like by the fifth grade, you're like, okay, let me see this. Like, right, literally. So he had to call her and say, like, will you please tell her it's okay to kiss me? She's like, girl, we need these checks to clear. Do your job. I was like, okay.
Pay my rent.
Period. But when it comes to like finding a man, like the one guy I dated, he couldn't watch my show. He was like, I don't even want to watch it. Don't want to see it. And that was because I'm the type of person, like, I would bring my man to set. I need you to understand how this works. So you can be like, oh, this is not sexy at all. Because we try to explain that to people, like, there's nothing sexy about
12
this.
cameras pointed at me
Literally,
right now.
and somebody yelling at you, telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Like, so you're having to act like you're enjoying this.
Right.
There's literally no simulation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like, it's not pleasurable. And then you got people watching you, so it's like, I'm not comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing cute about this.
Yeah.
So trying to explain to someone, this is what it is. We're acting. And literally, like, as soon as it's like cut, it's like, all right, what we got next? Like, there's no like, oh, I need a moment. There's no, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, what we doing next? So.
When you said you had to talk to your pastor, because I know not just the kissing, but just even like
the imagery.
Being a different person. And well, I like to hear your struggles with that, because I've had to talk to people similarly, because I'm not asking for an acting opportunity, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I used to act as well.
Okay.
I've done a movie or two, okay?
I feel like I've seen something you've been
You might have. You know, I mean, a couple things. You never know. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere, darling.
Send me your resume after.
But
I
went, there's a place in New York called the Center for Faith and Work. And I went and I talked to them and just got some advice, how do they navigate this whole sacred secular thing? Because I've done songs with Ty Dolla $ign. I've done, you know, and how do you?
I love how you how you.
How do you do all of that? And so I've had my own struggles with it. I'm interested to know how you've processed and wrestled.
So as the scenes were coming up, I was having conflicts of like just the image that I put out there for young women, you know, and I have so many, like a wide range of followers from like teenagers all the way to women in their 60s. So for those young girls that I'm really trying to steward over and make sure that I give them a good example to live by.
Yeah.
I want them, they watch the show, you know, and some of them, I don't even know if they're old enough to watch it, but they're watching it. And I want to make sure they understand this is not who I am. This is a character that I'm playing, and there are people out there like this. Because even my dad, he was like, you have to understand you're playing a character. He's like, you're not saying this is what I do, you know? So he was like, just make sure that if you look on my timeline, I want people to see who the real is.
Yeah.
So I kind of make sure I amplify that more so that you can see, okay, this is who she really is. That's just a character. But people love the character because there's so many people that are like Fatima. You know, so my struggle in
Yes,
that
there
was,
are.
There's a lot of people.
I have seen them. I know some Fatimas.
It's a lot of Fatimas out there, and they love her. They're like, oh my God, I see myself in you. Yeah. But I love even more when people say, I see myself in you, Crystal. You know what I'm saying? Versus Fatima. And I'll be like, well, I ain't like Fatima all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might get with you. You know, like there's another side where you push me too far. I might be like, all right now.
You're going to say, you're going to see.
You're going to see me, but.
Yeah, like... One of the things I love this. I don't. It might have been Denzel. I could be misquoting it, but it could have been Denzel. But what I liked, he said was, "I want to be a part of redemptive stories, and I'll play whatever character I have to play in order for the whole picture of that story to be, you know, clear." And that was good for me because it's like if I gotta play the devil for you to see how good Jesus is, I'm gonna be the best devil you ever seen.
Oh my goodness. No, seriously. Yeah. No, that's a real thing. And it's about the whole story. Yeah. Because even like I was just having this conversation with someone last night about, he's like, what type of sex scenes would you do? Like, and I'm like, you know, I said, for me, I said, I have in my rider certain things I will not show on my body. You know, because if I ever have kids, like that stuff lives forever. Yeah. You know, and I don't want
those are your real breasts.
Yes, literally. And I don't want people being like, oh, that's your mama. I see you over there pulling stuff on you, a clip on YouTube, like
them ain't mine, baby. Them Fatimas. No, mama, them yours.
That is you. That is your face on there. So I'm already mindful of those things. But I told him, I was like, you know, there's certain values that I have that I want to make sure I keep intact. Yeah. But there are certain stories I want to tell, and I'm a big fan of the art. You know, and if there's a way to show love in a beautiful way, I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not like, I'm never doing sex scenes. I do them, you know, but Tyler is very protective of me. Like, he'll call me like, hey, what are you comfortable with? I'm writing this. How do you feel? And I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. Or, yeah, I'm cool with that. Or, T, I trust you. Like, just shoot it right. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's beautiful. Don't have me out here looking crazy. Airbrush that little roll right there. We good.
Airbrush the roll is,
you know, that little back fat. We need to go ahead and get that. I'm keeping it real now. So, you know, there's moments where, like, as an artist, I do want to serve the character, because a lot of times as actors, if you're not completely consumed in that, you can judge the character. Yeah. Not understanding that there are people out here like this, and that's what art is. It's just an imitation of life. So.
Yeah. One of the things I like about you in that whole process is that you're like a student. You're not like, this is my philosophy, this is it. You're like, I'm working on this. I'm thinking through this.
Yes.
I'm working through this. And I think a lot of times we get judged being public figures as we're in process.
Bruh. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I hit a nerve.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm like, listen, I'm still trying to figure this thing out. Yeah. And I need y'all to get off my back. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give God the glory and show you guys this is where I am in my life, but show you that I'm not perfect. Because I don't even want you to put me there. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking my baby steps and I'm walking through this thing, but it is hard when people judge you for trying your best. You know? And it's like, if that same lens was turned around on them.
All bad.
All bad. You wouldn't be able to handle that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I say, I didn't sign up for that when I signed up to be an actor. Yeah. I just wanted to create. You know, and that just comes along with it. But that's not something you like, oh yeah, and I want to sign to be judged and ridiculed, and I want you to like pick apart my entire life and make assumptions about me. That's not what we signed up for. We
Yeah.
just want to create. We find joy in the creation.
Yes.
So
And just trying to be human and having a human existence. And it's people who just like, well, you didn't do this right and you didn't do this. I ain't never done this before.
Right.
I'm trying, listen, you figure out how to raise your kids.
Right, hello.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to do all of this, but I'm doing it in front of the world.
yes.
And
it's
so,
different. You can't make mistakes in private.
yeah. So that's one of the things that I see constantly. You, from what I understand, you grew up in church.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I found this is kind of like interesting because a lot of my friends grew up in church, right? I didn't.
Really?
So I didn't meet Jesus till I had quite a bit of wild situations in life. I was a grown man.
Okay.
And it was kind of like, you running your life into the ground. And it was like, all right, I'm gonna meet Jesus. I'm gonna be serious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna do the things that I need to be doing.
Yes.
So for me, because I was wild, I was out there. So for me, because I don't really understand moderation well, I'm either here or there. But a lot of my friends who grew up in church, they can navigate, and I'm always curious. Like when I'm even asking you, I'm just like, how did? So wait, y'all just be here, and then you went to church in the morning, and how does that work? And my man was like, well, you just avoid the 5 big ones, right? You know, don't drink, don't cuss, don't smoke, don't have sex, and number 5, don't get caught. And I was like, what?
Wait, what?
How does this work?
Yeah.
So what is that? I'm just, as somebody who's curious, I feel like I have FOMO sometimes when I'm watching my
Live their life.
friends who grew up in church. Like, how do you navigate all of that?
You know what? I'm like I said, we live in this thing, our walk out in public.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at a point where you only live once, you know, and I feel like if I'm not hurting anybody, harming myself, and it's pure fun and I get to enjoy myself, because somebody, like, people were getting on people like going to see Beyonce saying we were like worshiping the devil, and I'm like, I love the Lord, and I was in the prayer circle with Beyonce in the back, so I know who we praying to, and it said, and in Jesus' name we pray.
Sheesh.
So I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm gonna go. But you know, they judge like you can't go do anything. And for me, I wanted to make people see that like being a Christian can be fun. Like it doesn't have to be like this boring life. And I'm not saying that everything I do is good in God's eyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There are some things I know he's like, all right, girl, you pushing it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
wait, can I just try to see how much I can get away with?
Yeah.
You know, but I know that like there's things where I feel like I do more good than things that disappoint him.
That's what it's funny because that's what I was literally talking to my man about. And I was just like, I struggle with moderation so bad. I don't know how you do this.
It's
how
a
do
balance.
you? Yeah. And I'm like, how? But what he said to me, he said, you know, shout out to my guy Swoop. He said, man, when you grew up in church, you don't grow up feeling like you're going to be kicked out for messing up.
No.
You grew up knowing there's grace. You grew up knowing you're loved. And so it's not like, well, you better not, because it's over for you.
Yeah,
You
and there's
grow
some
up-
people that were raised like that.
Right, that's true.
Where they feel like if I do one thing wrong, I'm going to hell.
Right,
You know
I
what
can
I'm
see
saying?
that for sure. But just like, I've heard a lot from people who like, oh, my daddy's a pastor, because my wife grew up in church. And her experience is so much different. And I'm just like, how do you, and that, because for me,
I can't do that.
I don't know how, because if we not talking, because she can get in an argument with me and we won't talk. But I'm like, but then she can go to church on Sunday. And I'm like, if I ain't talking to you, I ain't going to church.
Was you right?
If we off, we off.
We are right.
If I'm bad, I'm bad.
No, when we get outside, we together, okay?
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how do you do this? So,
I feel like everything is a balance, you know, and I'm not big into horoscopes and them, but I'm a Libra. So I feel like with everything, for me, it's a balance, you know, where like I wake up in the morning, I'm in my word, you know, then I got to go work out. I'll probably listen to church music all the way up until, sometimes I'll listen to it all the way through my workout. Yeah. And then sometimes I get to the gym, I need to hear something else, you know? So it's like, but I'm going to start my day off with God to carry that through. And a lot of times when I don't do that, I feel it throughout my day. I'm like, ooh, let me go. I got to get in this word. Yeah. And it's literally, I'll end up reading exactly what I needed to get me through what I should have have read to get me through the day,
Yeah.
so I would have known how to attack it.
It's more of a lifestyle for you.
It's a
It's
lifestyle,
more
yeah.
incorporated into
In my
your
life,
life.
yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
And just, I mean, for me, it's all about giving him the glory in every aspect.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not about me. It's like, it's all about God. But also, I feel like sometimes like the holy rollers can like be a turnoff. You know what I'm saying? Where like every word is like, yeah, because blessed is the Lord and God is good and you shouldn't do this. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like.
I did not understand that.
Listen. And then like those people like behind closed doors aren't even perfect. I'm like, yo, come on. Like, you doing
See,
too
I
much.
never got that part.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in church, so I never wanted to be churchy. So I was like, that's weird to me, bro.
It's so weird.
You 17 wearing suits and talking about blessed and highly favored. You weird to me, bro. Like, I love Jesus. That's just weird. I don't get it. So I can see that. But when it comes to the guys you date or have dated, or so we back on dating again, but I'm just curious, like. What is
need
that?
all this. You need all this data so that you can help me.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yes.
Back on my job.
Yes.
But how does that like work? You know, like what does their background need to look like for you, and where does their values and how does all that incorporate? Because if I'm being honest, I'm trying to think of some single guys who love Jesus and it's obvious. And it's not like, oh yeah, you know, I mean, I fool with church sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
So that was the thing for me. Like one of my things that I have to have in a relationship is someone that has a relationship with God, because I feel like once you have that stable, then you can lead me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a big part of me letting go too. Like knowing that every choice you make, you prayed about this. You asked God for guidance. God, because every day I'm like, Lord, order my steps.
Yeah.
Every business decision. And somebody said, I can tell you don't move without talking to God. I don't. Like anything I do, I'm like, Lord, is this what you want me to do? I'm never like I'm gonna do it. Like I literally pray on it and be like, all right, God, because everything that looks good isn't good for us. So for me with a man, like, I've noticed in the past relationships, I've been the one saying, come on, we need to go here. We need to go to church. We need to go to church. And one morning...
you dragging him?
No, all the time dragging. You know, I need somebody excited. Yeah, we got to get this word, you know what I'm saying, so we can like apply it to the week. I'm big on that. And I'm big on, because I have, I'm a season ticket holder for the Hawks. You ain't got no problem going to games all during the week.
Yeah.
When it's on Sunday, then you barely even clapping. You know what I'm saying? Like the same energy I'm giving DeJounte and Trey, I'm giving to Jesus.
Come on now.
And he was like, you want to just sleep in it? I'm like, no. I'm like, if I go to that game last night and stay up late, I'm getting up and going to church. And he was like, dang, I didn't think about it like that. I'm like, yeah, but I need you to be thinking like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you like, all right, babe, like it's a thing. Like we're going to church. It's not there's times where I'll literally book my travel around getting back for church. Like I could literally like land at 6 a.m. I'm at that 10:30 service, because that's how important that is to me, and just being fed and being in the house with like minds, and that not forsaking the assembly.
Yeah.
Now there's other times where like I'm super busy, but I'm gonna make sure I'm watching it. I'm shutting everything down so I can focus. And even if I'm in my room, like the Holy Spirit is there.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like being in church. You know what I'm saying? So for me, a part of even like relationships is having a man who has a relationship with God. Because if I feel like I'm leading you to church, then I don't feel like you can lead me in my life.
Yeah.
Like I need you to already be like, I'm in my word, baby, and I understand what you need. You understand what I need, and let's do this thing together. I think that's a big part that's missing with the men that I've been attracting. Yes. And I can say that's who I've been attracting. I don't know what that is. And I think a part of it's like you feel like your life can make people change, or like, well, she's doing this and make them want to come. But if that's not what they already doing, sometimes they can get, okay, this is cool. And then like, let me build my own thing. What is the Jesus thing about? Sometimes it can be like a thing where they really like turn their life over. But I would rather somebody already come in.
Yeah, we don't want you evangelizing. We too old for that.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come with it together.
Come with it. Yeah.
Come with it together.
I want to take this cape off sometimes. Like,
yeah. So what? Because that's, man, when you said you want somebody, like typically, what kind of dude? You said you typically the dudes that you're running into are dudes who haven't been on that page. Like they're kind of like. You got to drag them. Yeah. But, you know, like I said, you are multifaceted. You not like, and I don't want to make this sound bad because I'm not like this either, but I'm trying to think of a good way to say it. But you're not like the person who's super churchy, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm not.
So what what about that guy if he comes along and he's a super churchy guy and he's just like, see?
Did you read your Bible today? Did you pray? I had one guy like ask me every single day, did you pray? Did you read your Bible? I'm like, yo, you gotta chill.
He trying to lead you, ain't he?
But I was like, yeah, that's right. I'm like, oh, listen, you gotta calm down.
You not my daddy.
Do not tell me what to do. But no, like, that's so true. Like, cause like people ask me like, could you be a first lady? I'm like, no.
Oh my God.
I could never do that.
I couldn't be a pastor either. I understand.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So like somebody is super churchy, I feel like a lot of times they don't have a sense of reality.
Okay.
And I'm just saying it in the nicest way.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like people who are super churchy don't have a sense of reality. And it's kind of so far left. You know, I don't think I would be able to date somebody like that.
Yeah. So I could, so, okay. That's, and as I'm listening, I'm like, okay, I see what it is.
You see, okay.
Because you have eliminated the two big swaths of guys and you are in this little space in the middle.
Yeah.
I feel like I understand that space very, very well.
Yep.
It's not a lot of us in this space.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's people who pretend on this side, like, yeah, I'm with all that. And then there's people who act like they can handle, like, you can't handle this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They love the idea of it.
Right.
Until they get in there like, ooh, yeah, I can't keep this up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is a lot.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's funny because, you know, people would be like, man, yeah, I just love your walk. And how do you and your wife do Bible study? And I'm like, bro, we do not do Bible study together because we would fight.
You see what this word says?
It would be a fight. Right. It would be a fight. It was times early on in marriage when it was like, we gonna do Bible study together.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't, and when you teach me, I don't be getting it. They be getting it, I don't be getting it. And I'm like, I'm not a good husband. I don't know how to teach you. How do I teach you? She's like, I don't be getting, I need to go listen to Priscilla Shire. I need to listen to something. I can't, this don't. Yeah. And she's like, I'm not saying you're not good. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying when you do it, I don't get it. Yeah. And I was like,
you're like, okay, go to Priscilla.
And that's okay.
That is okay. Yeah.
That's my Priscilla. Come holler at me.
Yes.
Come, let's do this Bible study.
Right.
So I totally understand that. It's like, man, people just have these levels of expectations.
Yeah.
And I actually had your pastor, Darius, on here.
I love Pastor Darius.
I told him I was new. I didn't understand. I'm like, wow, I'm brand new. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's dope to see the dynamic in the relationship that y'all have, and just you know, him and Shamika. And I was like,
them.
okay, you got a great community around you.
I do. And I'm so blessed because it's hard to find a good church nowadays, especially if you've been church hurt. Or if you've been misled, you know, it's hard to, there was like, cause I went to, I've been to a lot of churches, but I had started going to Passion, Pastor Louis Church. And then and then I went to another church. The pastor tried to talk to me. So then was on the verge of divorcing his wife, hadn't even divorced his wife, and tried to come in and say, well, you know, I'm not going to be single for long. So I'm basically trying to go ahead and like lie me. I'm like, wait a minute, what? I said, Negro, if you don't get out of my face.
That's crazy.
Like wild. So from there, I didn't go to church for a while. Like, what was he watching? Was he watching something? What were we watching online? Mike Todd. Yeah, we started just watching online because I was like, I'm over Atlanta churches. So I went, Chandler Moore, little brother of mine, he had changed it a pop-up and he sang for the pop-up. He's like, yo, sis, I'm gonna be singing for this church. You gotta come. I was like, all right, cool. So I came and then PD spoke and I was like, oh, and my brother had been watching him and I was like, this is the guy my brother was talking about. So then like a year later, they brought the church here. And from the first Sunday to now, I've been there. Like, I was locked in.
So what happens when you bring guys there?
Oh, I have this thing where I bring all my niggas to church. When the clip came out, I was like, oh my God, did I say that out loud?
First of all, we had heard Fatima say way worse. So, you know.
But honestly, when that interview, they were like, yo, she's actually really funny. They saw more of me in that interview. But I was like, because I feel like, one, it's gonna weed you out quick. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like because I feel if I'm bringing my friends to church, I should bring the person I'm dating to church. Because I need you to, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I'm going to take you everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't I bring you to the Lord's house?
Yeah.
To see. And I had one dude that just like broke out in sweats every time he went to church. And I was just like,
You sweating?
you sweating? Get that devil up out you there. Come on.
I had too much wine last night.
Go
That's
to the
all it was.
bathroom. He told me he put on lotion. I said, nigga, that ain't no lotion. I don't know why you sweat like that. It ain't that hot. I'm over here jumping up and down, praising the Lord, and you over here.
Lotion is crazy.
I can't make this up. I was like, that's your story. You sticking to that? Okay, go to the bathroom and get some towels. But yeah.
How long did you know this guy?
Well, I known him since college. So Lecrae, I literally tried this when we were in college. He was like big time. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So like it was like the roles had reversed, and we like linked back up and met again. And I was like, maybe I should try this again. This is somebody I knew before I was who I am now.
Yeah.
Someone who I knew loved me before we were just young.
Got you.
So I was like, let's try this again. You know, and it was just a lot of baggage. And once you like really get to know, it's like, okay, yeah, there's a reason why God removed you.
You watching this sweating right now.
I'm talking about, no, it's like a cartoon, like rain down on me type of sweat. Like I was like, you know how you look back and be like, see they enjoying the service, you're like, what is going on? But yeah, it was bad. So yeah, I like to take whoever I'm dating to church because I feel like that's an important, like I told you, it's an important part of the relationship. And I want someone that I can take what the pastor gave us and we can talk about it and we can apply it to the week.
That's good.
So that's very important to me. A lot of people say I shouldn't. And I'm like,
No.
I feel like you should. If I bring all my other friends, I need to bring the person I'm with.
No, you right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna show you this clip.
Okay.
I want to get your thoughts
Okay.
on this. We're gonna get a real-time reaction. Oh, this you.
Oh. I dated this one guy, and he was Muslim. And my parents were so mad. They were like, that's unequally yoked. Like, you shouldn't date somebody who's not Christian. And I was like, and this is really kind of what changed my view on religion, but we'll talk about that in a second. And I was like, but nobody's ever loved me the way he has. This guy was the kindest person. He loved the way I love. I love really hard. He loved hard. There was nothing that I didn't have to ask for anything. If he saw that I needed it, it was done. I was like, he was so attentive. We're still good friends to this day. And he came to my college graduation. He got to meet my family. After this man met my family, they were like, oh my God, we love him, because they saw what I saw. And just a beautiful, beautiful soul. But taking it back to the religion part.
Get out the picture.
Right here.
Get out of here. We moving on. No, but I guess, no, but that's interesting though. It's funny because my wife has a similar story that she was dating a Muslim guy and her parents was like, hey.
Hey. Everybody calm down.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, yeah, but so is that, obviously that was historic. How do you feel now in terms of like that whole?
So for me, when it comes to this religion period, I feel like religion was put into place to give us order, you know, and to give us a higher power to believe in. We choose to believe in Jesus Christ. And there's other people that choose to believe in other things. But the common thing is to treat each other right in most religions. And to just have some type of order, because we'd be out here wilding out if we didn't have something to live by or to feel like there was consequences for our actions. But I'm not going to judge somebody else for being Muslim and believing in Muhammad. And so that's how I feel like I'm not going to condemn anybody. I'm just going to treat and love everybody the way I was taught to do. So for me, that's how I feel. But when it comes to dating a Muslim, I can't do it now because, one, if I'm having children, I want to raise my children Christian.
Right.
People say, oh, well, you can figure that. No, I'm not figuring it out later because that's going to be a big battle. And I don't even want to deal with that. I want to know from the start, we're Christian and we're raising our children as Christians.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand with it. But I don't judge anybody for what they believe in. And I don't feel like what I believe in is the end all be all, if that makes sense. But I believe wholeheartedly in what I believe in. That makes sense?
I have some good friends who are Muslim, and you know, I enjoy. If I'm being honest, they have more discipline than I demonstrate. They demonstrate a lot of other characteristics. For me, I'm like, I am not as disciplined. I am not as, I mean, in some ways, as generous as they are.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why I need Jesus. You know what I mean? I need Jesus to make me into the person that I am not in my own strength and in my own capabilities. And it's funny because in my marriage, I'm like, you know, we couldn't be married if we weren't both subscribed to the same faith, because that's what I base my perspective
Everything
off of.
on.
You know what I mean?
You
So
wouldn't
it's
even understand if we believe in something different.
you know what I mean? So it's like, and then on top of that, it's like, if I'm like, hey, let's pray. She's like, I don't do that prayer stuff. I'm be like, oh my God, we stuck. I don't know. Or if she doesn't believe in anything, and now it's like, well, I just do what I want to do when I want to do it. And to be honest with you, my wife went through that with me, because there was a time in my journey where I just went in full doubt. I didn't believe in nothing. And I was like, well, why am I even married to you? What's the point of marriage?
Right.
Who says we should be married? And who
You
says...
start to question it.
I'm like, what is the point of anything? And I was like, I ain't doing no Bible study with these kids no more. And she was just like, oh my Lord. And I praise God for her. She was grounded and just held on. But that was a dark time for both of us, because it's like, man, we're not on the same wavelength. And you can see now, I can see now why it's like your parents say, oh, wait, y'all ain't on, y'all unequally yoked. And I could see now, even in my own marriage, how it's like, oh, this is dangerous, because we are on way two different ends of the spectrum. So I could definitely see that. But I do appreciate, you know, you just being honest about your journey and your pathway. I think that, you know, what I always tell, I got cousins who are of different religious views and different perspectives. And what I always tell them is, man, I appreciate your work, your effort, and your dedication. I said, man, as far as I've researched, every religion is climbing, trying to, like you said, order, climbing, trying to be the best version of themselves. I said, but in Christianity, it's where God sees, oh, y'all ain't gonna be able to do this in y'all own strength. I'm gonna have to reach down and pull you up. And I'm like, that's me. That's me, Lord. That's me, Lord. Pull me up. So, you know, it's why I've, man, you know, where I'm at.
Same.
You know,
That's
so I gotta ask you this.
Okay.
Because we talking about dating. And we talking
Talk
about,
to me. What you
you
got?
know what I'm saying? I saw you said.
I heard I saw you say it.
I saw you said. It ain't no boom boom before you jump the broom.
I said it.
Yeah, that's what I heard. You said you ain't sleeping with them until you get a ring on the thing.
Okay. So let me tell you about that. There was a season in my life. You are funny.
I'm just laughing.
So there was a season in my life where, because it's easy to be like, oh yeah, I'm not having sex when you're not with nobody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But there was a season where I was like, God, I want to do it your way.
Yeah.
Like I want to feel love the way you intended for me to feel it and experience it.
Yeah.
So I was dating this guy and I was like, we went to lunch one day. We had been dating for like a couple of months and we hadn't done anything. Because, you know, it's normally like that 90-day period. They tell you don't do nothing for 90 days because you'll know if what he's around for. And I told him, I was like, I don't want to have sex. I was like, I really want to experience love the way God intended. And he was like, you know what? I feel you on that. He said, because I feel like every time like I do have sex with somebody, everything just goes downhill. He's just being mature about when we look back over like the past relationships, you're like, wait a minute. It did all kind of shift right here. Yeah. You know, like the scales come off the eyes. You're like, oh, the woman turns crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine. And then, where you going?
It's so true, though.
Literally, who they call it?
True.
You know, like everything changes. And it's like, what is that?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to feel that. You know, I said, I really want to cultivate a friendship that turns into my best friend where we know each other outside of this so that when we do that, then it's just like, oh, this is just the icing on the cake. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I love this person because when we get old, that's going to go away. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
It ain't gone away from me yet,
period. Yeah, I'm talking about old. You know period. But like old. I'm talking about like, you know what I'm saying? It's coming to the point where it's like, all right.
Viagra old.
Yeah, but that old, yeah.
Old.
Right.
Yeah, I feel you.
some niggas, I don't know, like.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
some
bless
people.
them.
Yeah,
and I don't know what that
y'all.
is. I'm trying to
We
research.
praying for y'all.
We praying for y'all, yeah.
Praying for y'all.
But yeah, so I can't say that's like something that I'm going to do. I just gotta see.
We want you to do it. Come on. You
I'm
can do
trying
this,
to-
Crystal. Hey, come on, man.
Yeah.
Hang in there. Come on. It's greater later.
It is great.
It's greater later.
Yeah, so I'm working. Like I'm not dating, so like I don't
Okay.
know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest.
See, somebody
'Cause I
gonna
don't
watch
wanna-
this and be like, oh, yeah, so what you saying
Right, you're
is.
saying is right, the right one. And I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to put that out there and then be human and slip up and then
Well, it's not the.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel as if it is the crime of all crimes.
Yeah.
But I do want people to, understand like what you're saying, the sacredness of it and the
Yes.
specialness of it, and like, hey, man, I don't want this to just be. No, it's just it's a physical act.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I've never been like that. There's
Yeah.
so many people, men and women, that I know that can just do it. And I'm like, you can just do that and not like have any, like there's no, you can just give me like, all right, I'm cool.
Yeah.
No, like,
Oh yes.
nigga, where's the ring? We're married now. Like, like I wake up like, you know, it's like that shift really happens. So like now we talking about it, I still do want it the way God intends for me to have it.
Yes, you do.
And that's when I think if I have the right man who is led by God, he's not going to be
Hey,
focused on sex
let me do
either.
my job.
Come on, Lecrae.
Let me do my job,
Please
okay?
do your job, big brother.
Not if I, when I. Come on, let me
Yes.
do my job, okay? I'm trying to help
When I.
you out.
Yes, please
here,
help me
You know what I'm
out.
saying?
But,
I'm trying to, you know what I mean? She got season tickets. Y'all understand what I'm talking about? You know what I mean?
I need somebody to go to that, fill in that extra seat for me. you know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But in the meantime, if you need somebody,
Anytime, call
okay,
me.
just,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
I mean, just
seriously.
throwing it
Yeah,
out there.
yeah,
You know what I'm
anytime.
saying? No big deal.
A lot of
No
times
big
I
deal.
will be going, so.
No big
Because
deal.
there's times where I'm like, I either try to sell them or like, anybody trying to go because
Because you busy.
I'm busy. Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
too.
It's just a write-off for me. Like, I enjoy going to the games, but it's a...
With the flex baller talk. You hear it. It's a write-off for me. Talk that talk, man. Everybody
Yeah,
don't talk
business
like
meeting
that.
courtside, you know, bring people, we can talk business. It's a
write-off.
write-off. Yeah.
Sheesh. Goodness.
God is good.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm finna. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to find nobody now because I'm gonna,
Don't want to go to the
I'm gonna go sit in games. You stay single just a little while longer.
Unless it's your friend, you got a friend, then y'all can go to the games together.
Okay, yeah,
You know what
okay,
I'm saying?
cool. We'll
Yeah,
figure that
figure it
out. Yeah, we'll work through that, babe. We'll work through that, babe.
You so silly.
What we didn't talk about, because I feel like we talk about a lot, but what we didn't talk about was you and Tyler Perry working
Yeah.
together. You know, a lot of people don't realize that's like they have a perception of him, good or bad, but you know the real version.
I do, yeah.
You know the real Tyler. So
Yes.
what, like, I've heard he's extremely generous. I've heard he is, you know, I have heard that he works like a workhorse around the clock. But what do you feel like, what did you learn from being around him that you're like, oh my gosh, I would have never got this was I
Yeah.
not in this space working with Tyler
Oh
Perry?
my gosh, so crazy, so much. We can go back to how hard he works.
Okay.
My work ethic. At the time, I think he was worth like, I think on paper, like, you know what I'm saying, what they were saying, it was around like 500 million or something.
So like 500 million.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And then but this man's working harder than all of us. And we haven't even scratched the surface. So I'm looking at this man coming to work every single day, there until we wrap, directing every show, every movie, doing plays, doing press. And I'm with him for all this stuff. And I'm like, man, like, I got to go harder. Like, because in my eyes, he's made it, you know? And this
Yeah.
before he even hit $1 billion. I'm like, he's made it.
Yeah.
I'm like, if he's doing this and he's already made this much for himself or this, you know what I'm saying, this much success, and he's still working this hard, I gotta go harder. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I got from Tyler. Generosity. Tyler is one of the biggest hearts that you'll ever meet, and people don't even know half the stuff that he does.
Call him right now. Ask him, give me $1 million. just test it out. Okay. 500,000. 500,000. Okay.
But no, he is. He's and he's the type of friend that will push you. You know, I remember we were shooting one of the Medea movies, and I was dressing him. Imagine we're in a bathroom switching dresses.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Where are you living?" And I said, "Oh, I'm renting a townhouse." And he was like, "Why don't you own a home?" And I said, "Well, it's hard to save money because we're saving when we're not filming. So I had to save to live when we're not working. So like I said, it's hard to save with that kind of money to buy a home." And he was like, "Well, how much is a down payment?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, if it was like a $300,000 home, a townhouse, it'd be like probably $20,000, you know what I'm saying, just to put down." And he goes, "Okay, go get your home." And I was like, what do you, we're literally in a bathroom. He's in full Medea. And I'm.
So Medea bought you a house,
Medea
really?
bought me a house. That Medea money low. Do you hear me? So I was like, wait, what? And literally like the next day he called me at like 6 and we had a long night and he was like, "Send me your account information so we can get this money over." Within minutes, I had the money. And then that morning I ran in on his bus and I was like, "Thank you so much." He said, "Go get your house." And he said, "Make sure it's brand new." Wow. Tyler was so like hands-on that he even like came to look at the house, looked at the foundation, because I was actually going to be an architect before anything. So he loves homes. He did that. So my first home was because of Tyler. When I walked on set the day after I bought it, he goes, "I give you 4 years, you'll be in a mansion." I'm like, huh? He didn't even remember saying this. 4 years to the date, he calls me and he goes, "You still in that little apartment, a little condo? It's a 4-bedroom, 3-level townhouse. You still in that little apartment?"
In your 4-bedroom. I like my little house.
It's just me. He said, "Nah." He said, "I know you feel like you just got through the door, but you're through it." He was like, "You're good. Go get what you want." He said, "I live my life thinking, okay, I'm just going to do what I can do right now." He said, and God just kept blessing and blessing me. And then I look back and like, dang, I should just got what I wanted because he provided. God made provision. He said, "Don't do that." He said, "Go for what you want." He's like, it's gonna continue to provide for itself. And I was like, okay. So I ended up getting that house and he was gonna help me renovate it. And then I was like, "Tyler, I'm tired of waiting on these permits." And I called him one day, I said, "I found another house." He said, "All right, I bought that house from you." He bought the house from me. I went and bought the house I'm in now. When I tell you this man renovated that house, I want that house back so bad.
Wow.
It is gorgeous. But this is just who Tyler is. He always he pushes his friends to think bigger.
Yeah.
And he exposes you to things where you're like, "Oh, I didn't even know I could do that." The first time I went to his island, I was literally just touching the leaves. I'm like, this man owns an island with like villas and a big house. Like it's not just like a little hut. Like this is like tennis courts and like it's unimaginable. And I'm like, I could do this.
Yeah.
You know, that exposure makes you, it don't even have to be this grand. Like
Right.
I could just have a piece of land with a big house. I ain't got to have all the extra stuff, you know?
You don't gotta have your own leaves, but you can have some leaves, but not them leaves. But
Literally,
you know what I'm saying?
He had to import all these. But the exposure that he's allowed me to be able to think outside of that small town mindset that I had for so long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Has helped me be who I am today.
Yeah.
The places that he's taken me through work has just opened my eyes to the world and to see there's so many beautiful places that I would have never imagined being able to see. But then being his stylist, being around him for those, it's a very intimate job because you're around them all the time.
Yeah.
But hearing the conversations, how he handles his business, how till this day he sits while he's getting his haircut and goes through every single payment that he has to make. And that's a lot of payments. To make sure he knows where all his money's going. And he told me when he was like, make sure that when you know what I'm saying, that when you start having big bills like this, that you're the one checking off and approving every single payment. Because you don't want to wake up one day and be like, where's all my money? So these are the things that he shows me. He's never a gatekeeper. He's not like, I ain't about
This
to
is
teach
for
you
me.
Yeah, no. And even with my new ownership, I told him about it and he was like, yes. And he was like, I'm so proud of you. He was like, this is perfect. He was like, how much am I paying you? I was like,
okay, wait a minute.
Right? He's like, wait a minute. And he's like, no, this is good. He said, I'm proud of you. And I was like, no, I've taken everything that you taught me about ownership and making sure that I have everything that, like, I'm making the most of what I have now. Because for me, after that strike we just had last year, I was like, I never want to feel like my life is in the hands of this industry. So I was like, every check I get, I'm going to invest. So I just bought into DC Power, which is a women's soccer team.
Okay.
I'm in the initial ownership group for that. I'm working on another thing for NBA ownership because I want to own everything. It's all about acquisitions, ownership, funds, making sure that I'm putting my money in the right place that can make money. We talked about how when you first start getting money, you just want all the fancy things.
Yep.
Like I want the whole.
You
Louis
gonna
Vuitton.
know I got it.
It's on me.
It's
you know what
on
I'm saying?
me.
They say, boy, you can't have money. I was that person, and now it's like, I feel like the strike really opened my eyes up, and when you realize, well, I'm okay. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I can go to Zara and still be just as fly. Nordstrom and be just as fly.
Yeah.
And still have a lot more money to put in places so that when I'm done with this, I can pick and choose. I want to do that role. I don't want to do that because I'm making so much money over here by properly stewing over the funds that God gave me.
That's so good. It's two things I heard in this. One is that I don't want you to take for granted that Tyler did say all that stuff to you, and he did tell you to do that, but I don't think he tells that to everybody.
No.
I think he saw what was in you.
Yeah.
And because even as you're talking, I'm like, oh, he just saw a boss and was like, yo, you not acting like the boss. You acting like a bicycle and
Like
you a
you
whole
scared.
Ferrari
Yeah,
right
stop
now.
playing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hit the gas.
Yeah.
So I see that. And the other thing I see, honestly, is like, somebody who is really like putting pieces together to do something probably beyond what even right now.
Oh.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
always doing that.
And that's what I'm like, oh, you building stuff, but I don't even know if you know,
well,
you know what I'm saying, what you building for sure. But that's super dope to me.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. Now I'm still,
He's amazing.
I got
man.
some work to do.
Yeah, no, I feel like that every time. I feel poor every time I'm around him.
Yo,
I'm like, and I'll be like, help me, I'm poor. I'm so poor. Like
he rich.
It's wealthy. It's
That's
different.
a different kind of.
It's a different. Like
it's
you don't have to
another-
think about nothing for the rest of your life type of rich.
Yeah,
like,
cause after I think I saw something like I forgot what it was, but it's basically like $1,000 like $1 to a person who has $1 billion net worth. $1,000 like $1, so like $20,000 like $20. So it's like
yeah.
Oh,
I always be like, oh, that's a double cheeseburger. That's that's my job. Like, oh, that's just a double cheeseburger to you.
that's crazy though. Just to like think about it from that capacity and like, but he still seems very accessible and down to earth.
Down to earth. Like he just came to church with me, went to have brunch. Where we going to eat? Like, I was like, pull up here. Like, and I'd be like, you want to go to a party? He's like, no, we just eat right here. Like, he's not like, nobody can see me. You know what I'm saying? He's not like, he's very like personal. And there's sometimes where like, I feel like I got to protect him because I want him to just enjoy it, you know? And sometimes, you know how it is when you go out, be like, ooh, can I get a picture? You like mid-bite and you're like, bruh, like I'm trying to eat. You see, I'm with my family.
Yeah. My food hot right now, bro.
I'm trying to eat it while it's hot.
Right
Yeah. I like it this way.
You dig.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I try to, but he's so cool. So cool and down to earth. And one thing I love about him too is that he doesn't, you can like, he sees a need and he provides it. You know what I'm saying? There's sometimes where you don't have to ask. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen, not even with me, like I've seen it with other people and I just be like, this dude. So like even, there's something else he did. Like he always looks out for everybody. So there was a point where we hadn't worked for a while. It was during COVID. And I didn't know how much this meant to this guy, but I had called some people that worked for me when I was costume designing and saying, hey, do you need help with your bills? Like I was gonna help people because I was still getting paid. Tyler had called me and said, hey, are you good? Do you need anything? I said, no, like I'm still on payroll, thank God. Like God covered me during that time. Wow. Like I did not miss nothing. I was able to actually enjoy just my time and not have to work, you know what I'm saying, my home. I was able to enjoy that and it's a blessing. I don't take that for granted. But in that, with him asking me, did I need help? I was like, I need to ask people, do they need help? You know what I'm saying? So like I called people and one of the guys came back and he talked about, he said, y'all don't know this. He said, but when we were, and he said this in front of Tyler and I started crying. I'm at the car now. He was like, Crystal called and was asking people, do they need help? And I looked at Tyler, I said, but you did that for me. And Tyler was like, and I was like, but that's who you are. Like the way you act and your actions, if the right people around you, they grab onto that. And then they do it in return for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's Tyler is the gift that keeps giving if it's given to the right person.
Man.
Yeah. And I'm just grateful that I didn't take it for granted. And because some people can just be like, oh, he got it. You know what I'm saying? No, I appreciate everything. And then I make sure that I pay it forward.
And now you're becoming a version of that.
Yeah,
because
in
of
my
what-
own way. Yeah.
which is super dope, man.
Yeah, no, it's
This is listen, man. This has been phenomenal. Like just
I've enjoyed talking to you.
more
man.
than I like for real. Like now I'm on a mission for real. Like you done put I'm signed up. But
Yes, thank you.
But even outside of that, man, I definitely like I wanna make sure you know you got access. I want to help in any way I can with it, whatever you got going. You know what I'm saying? Because I just see the genuineness. I see the like, and I feel like, man, a lot like, yeah, we move better as a community, you know, than these islands who act like they got it all together. And then it gets, but then we can talk about that another time.